The marble fountain was burbling when I pulled up to what used to be my empty lot. In its place stood a brand new mansion, a circular driveway, and a 6-car garage. It was right in the center of my legally recorded 15-acre plot. A woman in tennis whites strolled out with a smoothie, waving at me like I was the pool boy. She wore sunglasses that probably cost more than a standard mortgage payment. "Excuse me, you're trespassing," she chirped. "This is private HOA property now." I reached into my glove box and pulled out a laminated copy of my deed. "I'm a real estate attorney. I've seen this movie before." "No," I said calmly. "You built a 9,000 square foot house on my land." She laughed. It was a purring, condescending laugh. "Oh, sweetie. I'm Patricia Peton, president of the Riverside Estates HOA. I personally approved this development." Patricia Peton had just made the biggest mistake of her entitled life. Because I wasn't just the landowner. I was the man who was about to take everything she'd built. I'd owned that forest for a decade. 15 acres of untouched oak and a small creek. It was outside city limits and completely outside any HOA jurisdiction. But Patricia Peton treated Riverside Valley like her personal kingdom. She measured grass with a ruler. She fined neighbors for asymmetrical shutters. And when her son-in-law, a developer named Bradley, needed land for his private estate concept, she just took mine. She claimed my parcel was community spillover, based on a 1994 HOA expansion map. When I finally saw that map during discovery, it looked like someone had drawn it in Microsoft Paint. Without checking a single public record, she greenlit the bulldozers. I was in Colorado for a case when they cleared my century-old trees. By the time I got back, the Italian marble columns were already going up. I went to the HOA office. Patricia didn't even look up from her paperwork. "I trust you've seen the improvements we've made to that abandoned lot," she said. "My lot?" I dropped my deed on her desk. She glanced at it like a grocery receipt. "We're asserting historical community rights. Improvement doctrine." "Patricia," I used my courtroom voice, low and resonant. "That's just hoax speak for squatting with style. You've built on private property. That's theft." She smiled. "Prove it in court then." That was her second mistake. I called the county building inspector. He nearly fainted. Patricia hadn't filed a single county permit. She'd claimed it was a community beautification project that didn't need government approval. Even worse? She'd used $75,000 of HOA dues to pay for the mansion's exotic gardens. Patricia tried to block my access with security guards and traffic cones. I called the sheriff. Deputy Martinez didn't care about executive authority. He made the guards move the cones at gunpoint. I walked onto my land with a process server. We found Patricia on the faux French patio, sipping champagne with her son-in-law. "Patricia Peton?" the server asked. "Yes." "You've been served." In court, it was a bloodbath. My deed predated the HOA by 14 years. The judge, a no-nonsense woman named Thompson, looked at Patricia over her glasses. "Did you at any point check the actual property records?" Patricia's chin went up. "I have executive authority to make decisions in the community's best interest." The judge's face told me she'd heard enough. She granted me a full injunction and opened the door for the district attorney to file criminal charges. Sarah, my partner, made sure every HOA member knew where their dues had gone. The revolt was instant. The same people Patricia had bullied for years, the ones she fined for the wrong shade of beige, showed up to the emergency meeting in droves. They voted her out unanimously. She was escorted out of the building shouting about ungrateful peasants. The civil judgment came 2 months later, $2.3 million in damages. Because the house was built on my land with illegal funds, the judge ruled that I now owned the structure. To celebrate, I hosted a reclamation barbecue. I invited the entire neighborhood. We grilled hot dogs on the marble patio while kids splashed in the butterfly pool. Patricia drove by in a used Prius, her luxury cars had been seized, and screamed that she would sue me. Deputy Martinez, who was off duty and eating a burger, walked over and gave her a $250 ticket for rolling through the stop sign. I live in the mansion now. I turned her wine cellar into a woodworking shop. The fountain? That's a koi pond now. I call it Patricia's Folly. During the criminal trial, it came out that this was her third time pulling this stunt across different states. The jury took less than 2 hours to find her guilty of wire fraud, embezzlement, and conspiracy. 8 years in federal prison. As the bailiff cuffed her, her facade finally shattered. 8 years, she shrieked. But I'm the HOA.
No, Patricia.
You were a bully with a clipboard. Now, the neighborhood meets at my place once a month.
No rulers. No spectrometers.
Just neighbors being neighbors. The irony isn't lost on me. Patricia spent millions to build her dream home, but in the end, she only succeeded in building me a place where the whole community finally feels at home.